Cool. Introduction then, I guess. So my name is Jamie Davidson. By day, I'm a software engineer in Redgate's core division. For this week, for Down Tools Week, I've been the captain of the Customer Insights team. So we have been aiming to solve the problem of research gathering, and then once research has been gathered, it tends to be put somewhere like Confluence or OneDrive, where it's sort of left to die and it's left there forever, and that doesn't really get shared too much around the teams. So what we'll often end up finding is that research is duplicated, or research is missed when one team decides they want to try and write some user stories around a specific problem. Another team has already done that research to help them get started, but they have no chance of finding that. So we've come together to try and make a centralized platform for people to upload their customer insights. So we started off redefining some language. That was our main goal, was to try and figure out what insight really meant. In true Redgate fashion, we asked 10 different people what they meant by customer insight, and we got 10 different answers. Turns out everyone means something slightly different when they say customer insight. So we decided that we should use language like interaction, whether that's a phone call or an email or a site visit, and then to introduce a middle layer called observations, which is the things that you actually learn from those interactions, little snippets of knowledge that by themselves don't really give you too much meaning, but together with many observations could indicate some sort of trend around a particular product or feature. And then the customer insight is actually the bit right at the very top level, where those sort of observations come together as evidence to support a choice or conclusion that you draw from what you've learned so far. And we're hoping that those customer insights, by providing some structure and formatting, will sort of help to drive decisions like which feature should we make for a product, which big database platform should we support next. But the main thing is going to be storing those in a place where they are easily shareable. So we're trying to ease the process of somebody saying, I'm doing some research around what the next feature of SQL prompt should be. And maybe they list off some potential features, and another team could say, oh yes, someone mentioned this during a research call that we did with them a month ago. Here's the transcript, as well as some bits of that conversation that we've tagged. So other teams can start aiding each other in their research. So yeah, that's the sort of gist of our project for the week.
So it sounds like a big piece of work that you've taken on. How have you found the week so far?
Absolutely. So it's been quite hectic. I think the problem that we faced was that the topic was so broad. Unlike some of the other project briefs, which were quite narrow, ours has had a lot of questions that we needed to ask, a lot of learning that we had to do beforehand and during the week to make sure that we understood what we were doing, and we weren't just going to make some solution that completely missed the mark. We've been working with designers such as Natalia, Callum and Beth, who have been fantastic in doing all of our research requirement gathering. They've been putting together user stories for us, they've been writing storyboards, they've been mocking up designs for us, which we're very excited to be able to share on Friday. And we've split up sort of proposed front end and back end, and we've managed to split our team down the middle development wise. But people have been hopping back and forth between front end and back end as we've needed more work on one end. So our focus has been a little bit less on MVP, it's a little bit less focused on a deliverable, and part of it is going to be about process change. Because ultimately we could build the best possible solution for this, but if people aren't on board with that, they're just going to keep doing what they're doing already, yeah. And then we don't get any value out of it. So we've had a lot of interest from people like Mark Cheverton, who's been to visit our whiteboard a couple of times now in the atrium. Just the amount of people we've spoken to has been tremendous, and there's been a lot of interest from the executives and product managers. And I think part of that is because we have a very nice team split as well. We have not only engineers, but designers and product managers and people from BI as well.
Yeah, so you've got a real cut across the IT teams.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really.
Yeah, I think we realised that we could have done with a couple of more engineers, unlike all the other teams that tend to have like 14 engineers and no designers. Then we only have about 6 or 7 engineers on the team. So we've sort of struggled with making sure that we stay within the scope of a week's worth of work, rather than try and to promise the world and make it deliverable and to not not do that at the end.
So this week isn't a typical week for you or any of the teams at Redgate. So obviously, as part of Down Tools Week, we get to try some of our existing skills and maybe try some new ones on for size as well.
Yep.
So how have you found that this week? Have you used any existing skills or learned some new ones?
So the main bulk of my contribution, engineering wise, has been suggesting structure for the programs that we're writing. I'm suggesting architecture decisions. Other than that, everything is pretty much new to me. So I have never really done too much leadership before. I was an intern manager once, and that was about as far as my management skills go. But I quickly found the people that I could fall back on and rely on and delegate work to, and so far my team has come up perfectly. I can quite happily give a piece of work that I'm struggling with to someone like Tom or Rob, and yeah, everyone has been amazing support-wise, and I've learned a lot about managing people as well.
Excellent.
So
that sounds like all good stuff. Has there been any difficult moments?
I think the thing I'm struggling with is not writing code. That's sort of deeply programmed in my head, is that I should be writing code. That's what I do best. So whenever I try and sit down at my computer and write some code, someone else will need some time from me. So I've opened up Visual Studio about 40-50 times over a week, but I've actually used it maybe about 7 or 8. So yeah, I'm not used to being relied on this much for so many different things. So that was quite a struggle for me personally. Sort of wider team, it felt like people were getting maybe a little bit demotivated when we spent the first couple of days mostly talking and planning. We saw a lot of the other teams dive straight in because they knew exactly what they needed to do, whereas we had a lot of research and design decisions to make beforehand. So we tried to do as much of that as we could before the week actually started, but we didn't quite get that far. So there were a lot of meetings, a lot of tough decisions to make. But I mean, we powered through that, and the team was again amazing, getting through all of the meetings we needed. So we started Tuesday afternoon, knowing exactly what we needed to do, and it's been great to see that even though we've had people working separately in sort of sub teams, whenever we come back together, there's some really great alignment between our vision for the future. We all still have the end goal in sight that we were expecting.
Excellent.
And yeah, along the way, we've sometimes sort of lost touch a little bit. It's one team has thought we were going one direction, another team thought another thing. But it's been a matter of get people to sit down and we talk for 20 minutes, and then everyone knows what we're doing again, which has been great.
Okay, brilliant. So obviously we've got 24 hours left of Down Tools Week. So what's the confidence level like right now?
So in terms of delivering something useful, as I mentioned earlier, we're not planning on delivering a shiny new piece of software that people can go and use immediately. What we're hoping to do is deliver a vision for the future and suggest process changes and little things that we can do over time. Our main goal for the presentation is to show people how amazing things could be, mostly because it tends to be some of the Down Tools Week projects, even the ones that are really amazing and well polished, tend to just get shelved. And then forgotten about, whereas we want to do something that's going to make a lasting impact. We want to actually change the way that things are done to make it easier for the teams to work in harmony going forward.
Okay.
So I'm very confident we can deliver something useful in that regard. How much we get done for a demonstration of an MVP, well, we'll see how much we can get done today and tomorrow morning. But that's I'm feeling good about it at least.
Good.
Nice.
Okay. Well, it was great to catch up with you, Jamie, and I'm sure we'll catch up again before the end of this week.
Thank you.
you.
Bye-bye.